The second brief recap of some nervous system stuff. This one relating a little bit more to where the nervous system then creates muscular action. So the nerve or the motor neuron comes down to the muscle and it will directly stimulate a number of muscle fibers. So that's what we call the motor unit, that partnership of one motor nerve or motor neuron and all of the fibers it activates. And any given muscle might have a number of different motor units within it of different sizes. And that can help us create contractions of different strengths. So we may stimulate a small motor unit in a muscle to create a fine movement. We may stimulate a large motor unit to make a much bigger gross motor movement. Something else we see, muscle spindles, specialized nervous system within the muscles, which offers feedback to the central nervous system on the degree of stretch of a muscle. And the important thing we got there was, which we discussed in class, this idea of stretch reflexes, and where's the key word? There it is, reciprocal inhibition. So when that muscle spindle suddenly tells our CNS that we are being stretched out rapidly, we will create a contraction in the opposite direction to save it. So we hit the patella here, it causes a stretch in the muscle, and to counteract that stretch and protect these muscle fibers from damage, quadriceps will contract. So we see that foot kicking forward. Now that would create a rapid stretch in the hamstrings, which should theoretically trigger the same thing to happen, and we get this leg going forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. But at the same time quadriceps are told to contract, we send a message to the hamstrings to relax so they are protected from injury, which is reciprocal inhibition. We're inhibiting those hamstrings from working. And the other bit of nervous feedback, Golgi tendon organs or GTOs, proprioceptors found in the tendons and within the muscles. When that muscle contracts and pulls forcefully on those tendons, the GTOs offer feedback, which cause that contracting muscle to then relax, because if we put too much force through a muscle we might damage it. And this was the one we ticked into for Pnf stretching. So what we have is reciprocal activation. Remember, if we stretch in one direction for a period of time, then if we stretch out the hamstrings, and if we contract those hamstrings really forcefully, we can then stretch further on the second stretch. And that's because while we're contracting the hamstrings, GTOs offer feedback that say those muscles are working very, very hard, so we will stimulate them to relax, allowing that further stretch.